In a village where the sun burned like fire and rivers dried to cracks, a man once bought a block of snow for his dying daughter. It melted in his hands before he made it home. The snow seller vanished the next morning. No one knew where he came from. No one knew where he went. But one day, someone saw snow again, in Dust Valley. Chapter 1: The Heat That Never Sleeps. Dust Valley wasn't a place. It was a punishment. Located in the deep southwest, where the land had forgotten rain and even the cactus wilted. This village didn't have shade, only dust, dry wind, and stories people told to survive. Water was gold. Ice was a myth. And snow was for dreams. Clay Maddox had lived all his 48 years in Dust Valley. He was a carpenter by blood, a father by heart, and a dreamer by necessity. His wife passed in the last heat wave. And now it was just him and his 9-year-old daughter, Millie. Her lungs were weak. She coughed in her sleep. The doctors said she needs cold air. Cold air. In Dust Valley. Clay sold his tools for medicine. Then he sold the medicine to buy ice. But it never lasted. By the time he reached home, the blocks had shrunk into puddles. And then one morning, something changed. Chapter 2: The Man with the Cart. It was 5 a.m. The sun was still stretching. Clay was carrying buckets to fetch well water when he saw it. A cart. Wooden wheels. Painted blue. And on top of it, covered in thick canvas and dripping like heaven's own tears, was snow. Behind the cart stood a tall man with skin burned by sun and eyes like storm clouds. He wore a fur coat, in Dust Valley, and spoke in a voice so calm it scared people. Name's Jebediah Frost. I sell snow. Clay dropped the buckets. The villagers gathered. Some laughed. Others thought it was a trick. But Jebediah reached into his canvas cover and pulled out a perfect snowball. Cold. Clean. Real. He handed it to Clay. Clay cried. How much? He asked. Jebediah looked at Millie, who had come out coughing. For her, he said. One promise. Clay blinked. What kind? That you'll carry it home fast. And never ask where it came from. Clay agreed. Chapter 3: The Race Against the Sun. Clay wrapped the snow in burlap and ran like the devil himself was after him. The sun climbed fast. The snow began to drip. Clay stumbled, cut his leg, but kept running. He reached his house, slammed the door, and placed the snow in a tin bowl. Millie reached out, touched it, and for the first time in weeks, she smiled. She slept in cold clothes soaked from the snow. Her cough eased. Her breathing slowed. Clay prayed. The next morning, Jebediah was gone. So was his cart. The village was buzzing. Some said he was a ghost. Others said he was a thief from the north. But no one saw him again. Not for weeks. Until the body was found. Chapter 4: The Stranger Under the Sand. A boy found it first, buried near the old chapel. The sheriff dug it out. A body. Frozen stiff. Eyes wide open. Skin pale as winter. It wasn't Jebediah. But in the man's hands was a block of snow. Still frozen. In Dust Valley. The village panicked. Some said curses. Some said miracles. But Clay knew something else. He recognized the man. It was the Hastings driver. A man who delivered ice 3 counties over. Why was he buried in Dust Valley? With snow. Clay went digging. Chapter 5: The Secret Beneath the Tracks. Clay started asking around. Found an old train map. Learned about an abandoned ice tunnel built during the war to move perishables underground. It ran beneath Dust Valley. He followed the tracks for miles. Crawled under tunnels where the air turned cold, saw frozen footprints in the dirt. And then he found it. A chamber. Huge. Full of ice machines. Some broken. One still running, powered by a solar rig above ground. And next to it, the blue cart. Jebediah was there, sitting on a stool, staring at a wall of photographs. Men, women, children, all from Dust Valley. Why? Clay asked. Jebediah didn't turn. Just said, because someone has to remember how to care. Chapter 6: The Truth Behind the Snow. Jebediah wasn't a seller. He was a savior. A former train engineer who stayed behind after the war. Built the chamber to preserve food. But when he saw the children suffer from heat, he changed its purpose. He used it to save lives. Quietly. Without credit. The man buried near the chapel. He found the chamber. Tried to steal snow and sell it. Jebediah stopped him. They fought. The man fell. Jebediah buried him to keep the secret safe. Clay didn't judge. Instead, he made a new promise. To help. Chapter 7: The Man Who Made Snow. Over the next weeks, Clay and Jebediah fixed the machines. They expanded the tunnel. Found ways to bring more snow up without being seen. They gave it to families with sick kids. To elders with weak hearts. One night, Millie asked, "Daddy, where does the snow come from?" Clay smiled. From someone who remembers what kindness feels like. Chapter 8: The Fire That Came. It was August when the flames arrived. A brush fire. Fast. Brutal. Dust Valley began to burn. People ran. And in the middle of the fire, two men opened the freezer doors. Pulled out block after block. Loaded them in wagons. Rolled them through the village. Melted snow to douse the flames. Snow saved Dust Valley. When it was over, people finally knew the truth. And they built a monument. A statue of a snow cart. With two names carved at the base. Jebediah Frost. Clay Maddox. Epilogue: The Village That Got Cold. Years later, Dust Valley got a new name. Frost Hollow. Every summer, the children gather around the last tin bowl. They tell the story of the man who made snow in a desert. And in the breeze, when the air cools just a little, they say it's him. Jebediah. Still keeping his promise.